Hola amigos, and welcome back. 3 years, that's how long I've been traveling. Yes, this video is my 3-year travel anniversary video, and in keeping with the number 3, I'm also coming to the end of my 3rd trip in Mexico. But don't worry, there are plenty more videos to come. And you know what? I think we may have left the best until last. You've all recommended it, now I'm here. Welcome to Pachuca. Keeping up with my, I must say, slightly welcome trend of visiting locations in Mexico that may not be on everyone's radar when it comes to visiting this country. For example, Cuernavaca, Tlaxcala, Zacatecas and Ecatepec. Hidalgo is a state that I've always wanted to visit. So many of you have recommended it, I think since day one. And there are so many things to do here, there's so much to see, I'm really excited. It is extremely high up, just like Mexico City, so it's about 2,500 meters high, so you may have issues with breathing and altitude problems, particularly if you smoke. And this state has many borders with other states in Mexico, for example, the wonderful San Luis Potosí to the north, Veracruz, which I love pronouncing, to the east, and Tlaxcala and Puebla to the south. But most importantly, there is something amazing about this state that I'm so excited about. I've never found anything in Mexico that has a connection with England, where I'm from, but this state has that. To the north is Real del Monte, or Real del Monte. It's a small mining town that has a history with Cornwall in England. That will be in the next video. I am beyond excited to go there. So without further ado, let's explore La Bella Airosa, the beautiful breezy city. Let's get going. So, the breezy city. I must say it is quite accurate because it is quite windy here, so I apologise if there is some wind in this video. Now, first impressions wise, Pachuca, I love it, and I've loved it from the moment I got here for so many reasons. You know, I've just come from Tlaxcala and Apizaco. As you know, they're quite small cities slash towns, so coming here, you know, there are more amenities available. You know, there's Burger King over there. So it feels like I've kind of come back to civilization. And the thing I will say, I don't want you to get triggered by this, alright? Comparing. I know that many of you have seen videos by people saying, is this Italy? Is this Spain? No, it's Mexico, and it isn't always right to compare other countries to Mexico and vice versa. However, I've got to say, when I first arrived here, walking down Avenida Revolucion, where we're going to go in a bit, there were so many striking familiarities and similarities for me. It felt like very much like Medellin in Colombia, and I even had a friend of mine who lives in Medellin. He saw on my Instagram stories that I was there, and he asked me, oh, are you in town? Where are you? So it's not just me. And also Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and you're going to see why later. And even like an area like this with like hotels and buildings around the side, it kind of feels like a square in Europe, like in Berlin, Athens, Krakow, all places that I've been before. And ultimately, you know, even though there are similarities, we have to remember, this is Mexico. It has its own identity. Is this Mexico? Yes, it is. Right, let's get going. I have a subscriber called Art Deco. That's probably not her real name, but as you can see, there are plenty of examples of Art Deco style architecture in Pachuca, which I'm amazed with because I love Art Deco architecture. The things that you have to look out for, the date, so the 30s, early 30s was when Art Deco was popular. You can just see, you know, the railings on the balconies, the windows, and you know, the gold things that go down there. I don't know what they're called, you know, I'm not the expert, but I really love Art Deco architecture, and I didn't think that I would see that in Pachuca. And this beauty is the monumental clock, which was built to commemorate Mexican independence, as you get with many monuments around this country. This monumental clock is one of the things you'll see on websites about top tourist destinations. It was built in 1910, 100 years after the independence of Mexico from Spain, so it commemorates the centenary or centenario. The area that I'm in, with all the Christmas decorations and a Christmas tree going up as we speak, is Plaza Juarez. There's a big statue of Benito Juarez, there's a teatro behind me, and various other buildings, including restaurants and things like that around the side. From what I understand, it's a great place to come to on Dia de Muertos. So it's a bit like the Zocalo in Mexico City, obviously a bit smaller. And look around the outside, you know, you've got these hills and houses going up into the mountains, which is somewhere we're going to be going very soon. Feliz Navidad, Prospero Año y Felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I said merry with a Spanish R. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas in the comments. Hopefully without awful singing. That'd be great. Hola. Right, we're down Avenida Revolucion. We've left the Centro area, and I must say, the longer that I've been in Mexico, I think my Spanish pronunciation has really improved if you compare it to the early videos, which means the more Spanish I put in videos, YouTube translation has an absolute field day. So if you are struggling with English or my accent particularly, or you just want to watch this video in Spanish, you can click subtitles up the top. Hopefully they'll be moderately accurate, alright? Music. Avenida Revolucion is basically a big long road that goes all the way through Pachuca, all the way up to Centro. I got off at the bus station at Central de Autobuses and walked all the way down here. And this is kind of what I mean about Medellin, because if you've been there, you'll know that in Medellin you'll have these like covered bus areas all the way down these long roads. And actually, you know, look at the trees, look at the sky. Hidalgo definitely feels far more tropical, you know, I think because we are further north. We are a bit closer to San Luis Potosí. Remember how hot it was in San Luis. So I'm definitely feeling a difference here. However, it is slightly cooler at night, as you would expect at this time of year, November. And I love the taxis, green and white. Another reason that Revolucion has a bit of a Medellin vibe is because of the amount of restaurants down here. A lot of independent restaurants like Holy Cheese, Guacamole Brothers up there, gastro pubs, things like that. I get the impression that this road would be like the place for nightlife and eating out, things like that. So if you want to get away from Centro, I think this will be a decent place to come. I think it might be quite lively at night. The place I'm heading to now is somewhere that I'm so excited to go to. It's right behind me and it's very close to the only Starbucks in town. It's not far from the bus terminal. It's Las Palmitas. Let's get going. Right, there is a stairway across the road, but I'm going to do a runner over this road and climb over this, as you do. Right, oh, I'm almost over. It's a good job, I'm still reasonably flexible at the age of 37. Here we go. This has to be one of the most iconic shots I think you can get in Pachuca. We're going to walk up that road. Another similarity with Medellin is that Las Palmitas kind of, in a way, has a similar story behind it to Comuna 13, Comuna 13 in Medellin. I did a video there last year. As you can see, hillsides, and you've got these amazing brightly coloured buildings all the way up the hillside, and basically the story behind it was around the fact that this is a slightly less affluent area, it's poorer, people have less money, and in an effort to give it a bit of a better reputation from that gritty reputation filled with crime, a guy who was actually an ex-gangster, from what I understand, put together this project to paint all these buildings in these vivid, bright colours. And as you can see up there, you know, it goes all the way up there, but then there are not painted, unpainted buildings up there. So perhaps this is still in progress. I believe it started around 2014. I could be wrong, but we're going to go up there and have a look. Listen to the breath. This hill is so steep. You've got to remember, this is 2,500 meters up, or is it feet? I can never remember. Right, let's continue. Just look at this view. Hills in the background. You can see the city all the way down below. We're going to go down here. Let's see what we can find. This feels very much like the hillsides in Guanajuato, but in a very different way. It's kind of the sort of place that you could easily get lost in. Just look at that, and look at these colours. Let's go up there. Hello. Meow. Come on. Oh, hello, hon. Okay, I've just stopped for a moment to get my breath back. Hallelujah, might need a lung transplant. And there's something I want to say that might blow your mind a little bit. I think when it comes to people's opinions of Mexico, I think initially people always have this view that Mexico is a poor country, there's poverty everywhere, drug cartels all over the place, but yeah, that is an issue in certain areas. But having been in Mexico for this amount of time, you do see areas that are, you know, more affluent. Plenty of areas in Mexico City, Polanco, Chapultepec, all those places. So you do start to get this view that Mexico is this, you know, magical, rich utopia. But there are still areas like this, you have to remember that, and I don't see this area as a tourist attraction. Yes, it's exciting to come here and it's amazing in terms of the views and it's beautiful, but you have to remember that for the people that live here, this is their life. It's not amazing and beautiful because they may be in a position where they don't earn a lot of money and the houses they live in aren't the best quality. So just remember that when you come to a place like this, respect the place you come to. Similarly with Ecatepec in Estado de Mexico, it's very similar to there. It's getting windy. Let's continue. These views are out of this world. I'm heading down this way, down the steps, down to that car park, and I'm going to go across the road again, back to Centro. We're going to have some food. Right, we're back in Centro, about an hour later. Pachuca, it's very windy. 65 pesos aquí, buffet, but no, we're going to have some pasties. Okay, I was going to try that place, but it's in pitch black darkness like most Mexican restaurants, so lighting, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So there is a place near where I'm staying, where we can get some pasties. Right, let's sit down. I'm out of breath. I did fall over earlier, by the way, in Las Palmitas. Classic. It's my first injury since Paris, when I tripped over an electric scooter outside the Louvre and almost broke my toe. But anyway, I'm outside pasties, a pasties place. What is a pasty, I hear you cry? So, as an English person, Cornish pasties are probably just as popular as something like fish and chips, but people don't seem to know what they are. I've had many messages since I've been here saying, what's a pasty? And I'm saying it with English pronunciation, alright, Cornish pasty, because it's English. And as I said at the beginning, Pachuca and Real del Monte, which we will cover in the next video, as I said in more detail, have a great history with Cornish miners back from the 1800s, and as a result, pasties have become part of the cuisine in Pachuca. Normally a Cornish pasty, the pastry will be quite soft. It's a bit like an empanada, and usually it will be filled with something like potato, meat, or vegetables as well, lots of onion. I don't really like them in England, to be honest with you, but I have a feeling that Mexican ones are going to be better. Look what I've got. It's a flipping pasty, and probably for the first time ever, this is what I vaguely know what I'm talking about when it comes to food, because it's English, kind of. Obviously it's Mexican. The thing about this, you notice, there's like a, I don't know, ribbing down the middle. That's very classic of a Cornish pasty. It feels like an empanada, it looks like an empanada, and the pastry, as I said, it's different. It's a Cornish pasty pastry is soft. This kind of feels like a sausage roll in England, if you know what I mean. I've got two, frijol and mole rojo. It's pasty time. That's the frijol. Beautiful. And I've got to admit, I've already bitten into the other one. There's mole rojo. Absolutely spectacular. Okay amigos, we're back where this video started. It's in the evening and we're in the Centro area of Pachuca once again. And just because this video is now in darkness, it doesn't mean this video is coming to an end. No way, Jose, Hans, because there was something else I really wanted to do in this video, but unfortunately I ran out of time today, therefore it's going to have to happen mañana. Pero for you, it's going to be in about 30 seconds, because first we're going to have a look around Pachuca at night. Okay amigos, it's now the next day and I've just done the most monumental climb, probably the most difficult climb I've ever done in my entire life, up to the Cristo Rey, the Christ the King, which overlooks the city. And as I said at the beginning of this video, there's an element of Rio de Janeiro, and obviously it's completely different from Rio, but when I first got here I was walking down the street and I saw the Christ in the distance. I thought, wow, it's like Rio. And the climb, yeah, I didn't film climbing coming up, you'll see why now. Brilliant. Peligro. I know that means danger, right? I don't know what the rest of it says and it's pretty rusty. Lovely. I can get up there. You won't be able to see, but there's like a massive chain of spider's webs, which I'm going to have to detach from there to get past. Sorry, spider. I know you're eating your dinner. Yeah, that was from my Instagram stories, just a couple of bits. It was not the correct route to take, as I always take. I looked on the map before I came here and there was like a car park and another entrance, the proper entrance, but I couldn't bother to walk that far, so I came up the difficult way. I cactused myself, I slipped and grabbed hold of a cactus. I had to get rid of spiders and you name it, but that's all fun, right? I had fun, and it's windy. And weirdly, I'm the only one up here. Look, I've got it to myself. No one here, just me and Jesus. Hi Han. Yeah, the way I came, there was like a rope barrier that I had to climb over because obviously it was the wrong way, but down there is the car park and there was a tour bus that I saw leaving just as I got here, so there were people here before, but now I've got it all to myself. You don't get this in Rio de Janeiro, do you? When you go to the Christ the Redeemer, it's packed and you can't get those, you know, photos with your arms out, which I did 10 years ago. So absolutely another gem that you can come to have the same experience but by yourself. Priceless. Okay, to end this video, I want to talk about what I talked about at the beginning, which is my 3-year travel anniversary. If you're new to this channel, welcome. You won't know about the fact that I've been traveling for 3 years and I'm not just on holiday in Mexico. Yeah, 3 years, it's a long time, and I don't think I could have come to a better place. Pachuca is amazing so far, and I think when we travel, we sometimes just instantly fall in love with places. I had that with San Luis, Zacatecas, Acapulco, just talking about Mexico on its own. And even though I've been travelling for 3 years, you'll know from previous videos that I'm moving back to Europe soon to become a semi-nomad, because travel in this format, it just doesn't work for me anymore. However, days like today and yesterday in this video, kind of fill me with a sadness as well, because I know that it's coming to an end, and I actually quite feel emotional about that. And it's not about Mexico, it's about travel in general. My way of travelling will be changing very soon, and coming to somewhere like this with these amazing views, no one around, it just reminds you that you can still do these things after 3 years. And I guess in terms of you that are not travelling for 3 years, come to places like this. I say this in every video, you know, come to places that are lesser known, because Pachuca, in my opinion, has far much more to offer than those popular destinations in Mexico. I'm starting to sound like a broken record now, saying that in every video, but it's true. So thanks for watching. Next up, we are going to Real del Monte. Stay tuned. Hasta luego. This is why I do the dangerous routes. I just came out, attempted to come out the proper exit, but I've been locked in because it closed at 5 and it's 5 past 5. So I climbed over the barbed wire fence. Now I've got a hole in my t-shirt. Time to go home.